The air in the BBC studio was crackling with anticipation as Prince Harry prepared to join Graham Norton on his renowned late-night show, scheduled as part of a press tour for his latest memoir update and mental health series. This appearance was billed as lighthearted but meaningful, mixing Harry's wit with his deeper purpose. Clad in a tailored navy suit, Harry smiled warmly as he entered to applause, shaking Graham's hand and giving a polite nod to the other celebrity guests already seated. For the first few minutes, the interview played two scripts: stories from his military days, laughter over a polo mishap, even a viral TikTok clip of Harry misusing a blender in his California kitchen. But the tone shifted when Graham, in his famously cheeky tone, brought up Harry's rift with his family. "You say you want healing," he said, "but you keep publishing chapters. At what point is it healing versus hustling?" The audience reacted with a collective ooh, unsure whether it was playful or pointed. Harry blinked, his jaw stiffening ever so slightly. "I write because I need to," he replied coolly. "I talk because silence was killing me." The tension was subtle but real, and the temperature had just dropped a degree. Graham smiled, but didn't let go. "But Harry, surely you see the contradiction. Privacy was the rallying cry. But now, your Netflix, Spotify, memoirs, interviews, where does it end?" Yeah. Harry gave a measured laugh, the kind that covers discomfort. "Privacy doesn't mean silence. It means choice." Graham leaned in. "And what do you say to the critics who think you've monetized trauma?" The question hit hard. The other guests, a British singer and an American comedian, shifted slightly, sensing the edge had arrived. A host, but as a man, challenging his integrity. "I say they've never lived it," he said. "They've never been chased through tunnels or had their wife's tears ignored by a palace." The audience clapped lightly, but Graham wasn't finished. "But hasn't every new reveal just widened the gap with your family?" Harry's brow furrowed. "They chose silence. I chose truth." Graham cocked his head. "Or maybe you chose control?" That word, control, landed like an insult. Harry sat back. "Is this what we're doing now?" he asked sharply. "You invited me to talk about healing, not to ambush me?" The room froze. Graham tried to soften it. "Harry, you know I poke fun, but I also respect the story. It's just, some people are wondering if the story ever ends." Harry stared at him, then exhaled. "You're doing what they all do, turning my experience into entertainment?" The audience grew quiet. Even Graham seemed caught off guard by the sudden emotional weight. "That's not my intention," he said. "I'm trying to ask what viewers are wondering. You have a platform, and I use it to help others feel less alone," Harry interrupted. "Not to entertain cynicism." Graham nodded slowly. "Fair enough. But do you ever worry it's becoming a performance?" The word hung in the air. Harry's expression went cold. "I've performed my whole life. This is the first time I'm speaking for myself." Then he removed his mic. The motion was slow, deliberate. The crowd gasped. Graham raised a hand. "Harry, come on. Let's not end like this." But Harry stood. "You already decided how?" "It would end the moment you questioned my purpose." The walkout wasn't dramatic in speed, but in silence. Harry didn't storm. He walked, head high, eyes focused. Security flanked him discreetly as he exited stage left. The camera cut away awkwardly to Graham, who attempted levity. "Well, that's a first," he quipped, trying to reset. But the audience was still stunned, and the energy never fully recovered. Within 30 minutes, the clip had hit Twitter and was spreading with alarming speed. Social media exploded with hashtags, #HarryWalkout, #NortonClash, #WoundedRoyal. Public opinion divided almost instantly. Some hailed Harry's exit as a powerful stand against media baiting. Others mocked it as yet another overreaction from a man who seemed addicted to attention while claiming to abhor it. The BBC issued a statement saying Prince Harry had left of his own accord and would not be returning to complete the segment. Graham's camp clarified there was no ill will, but insiders whispered the host was rattled off camera, and that the mood in the studio had turned unusually somber. Back in California. Meghan reportedly watched the segment unfold in real time. According to a source close to the couple, she was not surprised by the clash and felt the questioning was calculated. Within hours, Omid Scobie, often dubbed their unofficial biographer, tweeted, "The same press that hounded Diana still lives only now, with red chairs and punchlines." Graham Norton remained silent publicly for the first 24 hours. But his team felt mounting pressure to clarify whether the line of questioning had been vetted with Harry's PR team in advance. Some claimed Graham had gone off book. Others suggested Harry had grown hypersensitive to any form of scrutiny, no matter how gently delivered. Meghan, meanwhile, shared a cryptic quote on her Instagram story later that evening. "When they question your motive, remind them you survived what they denied." For many, it was clearly aimed at the moment. Asterisk publications had a field day. The Daily Mail called it a Prince's Pity Parade. The Guardian framed it as a man reclaiming his boundaries in an industry that mocks pain. Networks picked it up as breaking news, turning what was meant to be a brief segment into a 3-day media cycle. Opinion columnists weighed, and some argued that Harry had a right to draw a line, even on a comedy show. Others felt he misunderstood the tone of British satire. A viral video montage of past Graham Norton show, guests ranging from Madonna to Tom, crews laughing at similarly awkward questions, only added fuel. But none of them, critics said, had a trauma legacy intertwined with a royal empire, a dead mother, and global press scrutiny. This wasn't just a celebrity moment, it was a cultural pressure point. Asterisk. The BBC faced internal backlash for the editorial handling of the episode. Several producers reportedly argued that if Harry was booked to speak on mental health and resilience, then the host should have kept the line of questioning aligned. A leaked memo indicated that the palace was not briefed in advance, but a spokesperson for King Charles declined to comment. Meanwhile, Harry's team released an official statement. 2 days later, Prince Harry remains committed to honest conversations about healing. Unfortunately, not all platforms are committed to the same integrity. The wording was calm but unmistakably sharp. Calls for Graham to apologize grew louder online, particularly from younger viewers and advocacy groups. Graham maintained his fan base, many of whom praised him for treating a prince like anyone else. In the weeks that followed, the ripple effects continued. Harry cancelled 2 scheduled UK interviews, including one with ITV, citing a desire to avoid sensational formats. Meghan was seen in public more than usual, attending events solo and receiving praise for her poise under renewed scrutiny. Netflix released a short teaser for the couple's next docuseries, which many assumed would subtly reference the clash. The teaser featured Harry saying, "Sometimes walking out is the only way to walk on." It drew millions of views. Meanwhile, Graham returned to his show the next week with a sly nod. "Tonight's guests, none of whom will flee the couch mid-show. I hope." The audience laughed, but not as loudly as usual. Asterisk among media critics. The walkout became a case study in modern vulnerability. Some praised Harry for showing that even royalty have a breaking point. Others mocked the moment as proof he lacked resilience for public life. Activists framed it as a conversation about trauma boundaries in entertainment. One Guardian essay argued, "We ask men to open up, then punish them when they don't smile through it." Graham, for his part, appeared briefly on a podcast too. Say, "It was never personal. I tease everyone, it's the format. I regret that he didn't feel comfortable staying." Whether sincere or strategic, the remark didn't do much to cool discourse. And despite the heat, the episode broke records, becoming the most viewed Graham Norton segment online in over a decade. Asterisk time dulled the outrage, but not the memory. The clash remained one of the most surreal moments in live TV of the year. For Harry, it was both a setback and a signal showing just how fragile truth-telling can be in spaces built for punchlines. For Graham, it was a reminder that even the sharpest comedians must know when their tone cuts too deep. Audiences were left with questions. Can we handle sincerity on entertainment platforms? Can trauma coexist with banter? And most of all, when? The famous walk away, are they making a scene or saving themselves? No matter the answers. One thing was clear. In a world obsessed with keeping calm and carrying on, Prince Harry had chosen a different path, one that didn't end with applause, but with a silent exit that said everything. The air in the BBC studio